Hi guys, and welcome back to Mrs. Harlow's Quarantine Reads, where I talk to you about what I've been reading while we're on extended leave. So, with this next quarantine read, I have to be really careful, because if I'm not careful, I'll turn into this. And let's be real, nobody's got time for that. So, without further ado, today's quarantine read is Dragon Age Tevinter Nights, edited by Patrick Weeks and a bunch of other people. These are all writers and game developers at the game studio BioWare, which is a Canadian game company. They make the video game Dragon Age, which, just allow me a little bit of tin hat to explain the background. Dragon Age is a dark fantasy RPG, which is role-playing game, that came out way back in 2009 with the first game, Dragon Age Origins. Dragon Age 2 followed that in 2010, and then Dragon Age Inquisition followed that in 2014. Dragon Age is a giant game franchise with giant games. I don't even want to talk about how many hours I've put into playing Inquisition alone. It's in a brand new setting, so it kind of fits that epic fantasy feeling. It's its own new world with its own rules. And part of the really cool thing about Dragon Age is that it doesn't just exist in the video games. There's a graphic novel series, there's a novel series, there are encyclopedias about the world, which I totally don't ask for Christmas. I have no idea what you're talking about. But this is the first short story collection we've ever gotten. We're all we being the fandom, I should add that in. We, the fandom, are very excited because this is the first Dragon Age book that has come out since Inquisition was released in 2014. So we're all very excited because we think we're gearing up for the release announcement for the new game because, dear Lord, it's been forever. Please hurry up. Is it here yet? No? Okay, alright, fine, whatever. Back to the book. Like I said, Dragon Age is a really big world, and it has multiple races in it. Humans, elves, dwarves, Kunari guys with the big horns. And in a world this big with this many people, there are endless stories to tell. That brings us back to Tevinter Nights. Like I said, it's a short story collection. It has 15 short stories in it. I think all of them are set after Inquisition, which is really fascinating for those of us in the fandom. One thing that I normally do when I read short story collections is I flip to the contents and look for the shortest stories and read those first. I know editors pick and choose the order of the stories with a lot of care, so sorry about it, but I don't have time to sit down and read your 40-page stories all the time. But in this case, I didn't want to accidentally spoil anything, so I read it from front to back. One of the writers on Twitter actually said he would call this a chonk, because it is a pretty big book. It's almost 500 pages, but it is 15 short stories, so it didn't feel that long at all. There were a lot of really great standout stories that, all of them were good, but there were quite a few. There were a solid 5 of them that when I think about them, I'm laughing. I thought they were really, really well done, and I think video game writers can get kind of a bad rap that they're not real writers or whatever, but these were great short stories on their own. I don't think they would make any sense to anyone who's not familiar with the world of Dragon Age, and several of them would not make sense if you have not played Dragon Age Inquisition. But for someone like me, who has played way too much of this video game, and will continue to do so, and maybe reads and writes fanfic about it, who cares, whatever, that's neither here nor there. It's a gem. It's a delight. I will reread them, I'm certain. And so I really, really loved this book. And I'm excited to spend more time with it when it gets closer to the release of the 4th game. That's really all I have to say about this. Well, no, that's a lie. I could say a lot more about this book, but that's not for this video. That's for Discord. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna go there now. I'll see you guys next time on Miss Harlow's Quarantine Reads.